Hello everyone, welcome to online survey tutorial on applied hydraulics. So today we are starting with the module 1, that is dimensional analysis, and in this class we are going to discuss what is dimensional analysis and what are the types of dimensions and the methods which are used to solve the problems on dimensional analysis. And so we are going to solve one problem on Rayleigh's method. So let us see what is dimensional analysis first. So dimensional analysis is nothing but it's a mathematical technique which is used to study the different dimensions. So we have different dimensions which we are going to discuss after this. So to study the different dimensions of a physical phenomenon, so this dimensional analysis is used as it is one of the techniques to study different dimensions. And basically it deals with the dimensions of physical quantities, so which are involved in the phenomenon, like the physical quantities of the fluid phenomenon. Okay, so basically first what we are going to do, we are going to predict the physical parameters, okay, that will influence the flow. For example, if you take a flow of water, the velocity is one of the parameter and which influence the flow of water. So we are going to predict what are the physical parameters which influence the flow, and then by grouping these parameters in dimensionless combinations, so a better understanding of flow phenomenon is made. So in dimension analysis, what we are going to do, so first initially we are going to predict the number of parameters which are responsible for the physical phenomenon. It may be an flow of a fluid, so that is one of the physical phenomena. Okay, so so we are going to combine those physical phenomena by using a dimensionless combination, so that we understand that in a mathematical form. So in particularly helpful in experimental. So this dimensional analysis usually helpful in experimental work because it provides a guide to those things that significantly influence the phenomena. Thus, it indicates the direction in which the experimental work should go. And also, so this is one of the mathematical technique which is used in research work, especially for the design and also to conduct a model test. So next, let us see what are the different types of dimensions available. So generally there are two dimensions. So one is the fundamental dimensions, okay. So or which is called as the primary dimensions, and also which is called the fundamental quantities, what we can say. So like there are two types of physical quantities, what we can say, like the fundamental quantities and the derived quantities. So which is also called as the fundamental dimensions and the secondary dimensions. So fundamental quantities means those are the quantities so which does not depend on any other quantities. Okay, so like these are the basic quantities. Fundamental means those are the basic. Okay, so for example, like time, length, mass, temperature, so those are considered as the fundamental dimensions. Okay, so whereas the second type of dimension or the secondary quantities, what we can say, or derived quantities, we can say, so those are the quantities which depends on the fundamental dimension. For example, if you take in velocity, so velocity is nothing but distance divided by time. So distance is a fundamental dimension and also time is a fundamental dimension. So the velocity, which is a secondary quantity or a derived quantity, depending on this fundamental quantity. So that's why it is called derived, means we are deriving this secondary quantities using the fundamental quantities. So similarly, other examples like acceleration and force, like because force is equal to mass into acceleration. Okay, and acceleration is velocity divided by time again. Okay, so for here, if you take velocity, it is distance divided by time. So for a distance, the dimension is L, and similarly the dimension for time is T. So we are going to indicate with the capital letters. So the dimension for the dimensional formula for velocity is L by T, and for acceleration it is so L divided by T square. Okay, so and similarly the density is also mass per unit volume. So the dimensional formula for density is M divided by L to the power cube. So where mass is a fundamental dimension, again the dimension for mass is M, capital M. Okay, so those are the primary and the secondary quantities, so which we are going to, because those are very important when we solve the problems. So this is a tabular column which shows the different the dimensions, different units for different quantities. Like the first of all, you'll be having three fundamental dimensions, that is mass, length, and time. So after that, coming to the geometric properties of the material or geometric properties of the flow. So you have length, area, volume. Those are the geometric properties and their units. So meter, meter square, volume, and their dimensions. So we are going to say the dimension, the fundamental dimensions is EMLT. Okay, so for a length L and for area, the dimensional formula is L square, because length into breadth. Okay, so both are the distances which is measured in meters. So L. Okay, and similarly for volume, the dimensional formula is L cube. So similarly, we have a different kinematic properties like time, velocity, acceleration, discharge. Those are the kinematic properties. Okay, so their units. So time second, velocity meter per second, acceleration meter per second square, discharge meter cube per second. And similarly for second means it is nothing but time. So time, the dimension formula is capital T. For velocity is L divided by T, and acceleration L divided by T square, and for discharge L cube by T. So similarly, the last property, you have the dynamic property like mass, force, pressure, energy, power. All are the different dynamic property and their corresponding units, and also the dimensional formula. So this tabular column is very important. As I have told, you have to remember the dimensional formula for different properties, so which is necessary to solve the problem. So the next you have the principle, that is the dimensional homogeneity. So what is dimensional homogeneity, by the way? See, if you take any equation, for example, you take an, as you see here, we have considered an example of velocity. Okay, so we know that V is equal to square root of 2gh. So that is the theoretical velocity of a flow. Okay, so here, if you take this particular equation, not only this, any equation, if you take the dimension on both the side of the equation, that is both on the LHS and the RHS should be same, then that particular equation is said to be the dimensional homogeneous equation, and that property is called the dimensional homogeneity. So dimensional homogeneity means, so for any equation, so the dimensions on both the terms, or the dimensions on both the sides of the equation should be same, should be equal. Then that principle is called dimensional homogeneity, and that particular equation is called the dimensionally homogeneous equation. So as you see here, for the velocity, it is distance divided by time. The dimensional formula is, so distance is L, so divided by time, L by T is the dimensional formula, which should be equal to the right hand side. So see, in the right hand side, if you see root 2, square root of 2gh, so this 2 and square root is in constant, so only the dimension of this g into h you have to consider. Okay, so it is root gh, so root of, so it is g. See, g is acceleration due to gravity, so g acceleration due to gravity means the unit is meter per second square. Okay, so meter per second square, meter represents the length. Okay, so the dimensional formula is L divided by second. Second represents the time. So it is t square. So it is L divided by t square into h. H is the head. So head means again it is meter. So the dimensional formula is L. So it is L square divided by t, square root of L square divided by t square. So if you can take it outside from the square root because it is L square by t square. So it will be L by t only. So if you see here, so the right hand side, sorry, the left hand side is equal to the right hand side, which represents it is a dimensionally homogeneous equation. So that is what the principle which we are following here. So to solve the problems. So after this, you have a different methods of dimensional analysis. So this is, you have basically two methods, that is Rayleigh's method and Buckingham's pi theorem, to solve the problems. So if a number of variables involved in a physical phenomenon, okay, are known, then the relation among the variables can be determined by the following two methods. For example, if you take, as we have taken in the previous case, velocity is equal to square root of 2gh. So if you know how many parameters are there, see the parameters are nothing but your quantities. For example, if you take velocity, g and h, so these are the three quantities or the three parameters, okay. So these are the number of physical parameters. So if you know this, number of variables or number of parameters, then you can solve the problem by using these two methods, Rayleigh's and the Buckingham's pi theorem. So let us see the first method, that is the Rayleigh's method. So here it is used for determining expression for a variable that is dependent, which depends upon maximum 3 or 4 variables. For example, as you see here, there are only 3 variables, so that you can solve the problem by using Rayleigh's method. But so you can solve only when the variables are 3 to 4. Okay, so if it exceeds 4, that is, you have to remember, it is not dependent, it is independent variable. So if the independent variables are 3 to 4, then you can use Rayleigh's method. See here in this particular equation, see velocity is a dependent because velocity is depending on this head and g. So basically, if h value varies, then velocity will vary. So velocity will become dependent and h is independent. So if this independent variables are 3 to 4, then you can use Rayleigh's method. So if it exceeds more than 4, then you cannot solve the problem using Rayleigh's method. At that case, you have to use the second method, that is Buckingham's pi theorem. Okay, so let us see how to solve this problem using Rayleigh's method. So for that, we'll consider a general equation. So let x be the independent. So we have considered x as an independent variable, dependent variable, which depends on x1, x2 and x3. So these are the independent variables now. Okay, so just consider, like as I said, like velocity is a dependent, okay, and h is a independent. Just an example. So as an independent variable, then according to this Rayleigh's method, so what you can write? So you can write it in a mathematical form, that is x is equal to f of x1, x2 and x3. Okay. So where you can rewrite this equation as x is equal to k. If you remove this function, so you'll get a constant, that is x is equal to k into x1 to the power a, x2 to the power b and x3 to the power c. So after this constant k and also a, b, c are determined by comparing the dimensional formulas on both the sides of the equation. So we are going to write the dimensional formula on both the right hand side and the left hand side. We are going to equate the powers of that fundamental dimension, and we are going to get the values of that k, a, b and c, and we are going to substitute again back in this equation to get the final equation. That is nothing but we are going to use the dimensional homogeneity principle to solve the problem. So let us see the one problem on this Rayleigh's method. So there is a problem. So find the expression for drag force F on a smooth sphere of diameter d, moving with an uniform velocity v in a fluid of density rho and dynamic viscosity mu. So here, as from the question, you can understand that drag force is a dependent variable. So where this is depending upon the diameter, so velocity, density, and dynamic viscosity. So here, so we understood that drag force is a function of diameter, velocity, density, and viscosity. So now, according to the Rayleigh's method, so F, we can write this statement in terms of mathematical equation, that is drag force is a function of diameter, velocity, density, and viscosity, that is as F is equal to F of d, v, rho, and mu. So, and also if you remove that function, you will get a constant, that is F is equal to k into d per a, v per b, rho per c, and mu per d. So this two equations so is according to the Rayleigh's method. So this will name it as equation 1. So the next step is we have to apply the dimensional homogeneity principle to get the values of these perverse. Okay, so that was the procedure. So the step-by-step procedure, how which I have explained in the previous slide regarding the Rayleigh's method. So the same steps we are following. So initially, what we have done, so whatever the given problem is there, so which is in terms of statement, so we have written that in terms of mathematical equation. So that is F is equal to F of diameter, velocity, density, and viscosity, because you can see, you can understand when you read the problem. Okay. So, and after that, we have removed the function. So according to this Rayleigh's method, you can rewrite this equation as F is equal to K d per A, b per B, rho per C, and mu per D. So which will take it as equation number 1. So now what we have to do, we have to write the dimensional formulas for each variable. So now you can see how many variables, total number of variables is 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in this you can see F is a dependent. Okay, F is a dependent, and this diameter, viscosity, velocity, and viscosity, density, whatever is there. So these are independent variables, and you can see here only 4 is there. Okay, so if the independent variables are 3 to 4, then you can use the Rayleigh's method. If it is greater than 4, then you have to use Buckingham pi theorem. So let us see what are the dimensional formulas. So first of all, it is a force. So you know force is mass into acceleration. So force is mass into acceleration. So for a mass, the dimensional formula is m. For acceleration, it is so L t power or L t divided by 2. So which is L t power minus 2. Okay, and similarly, the diameter, it is meter. So it is, the dimensional formula is L, and for velocity is meter per second. See, if you know the unit, you can easily obtain the dimensional formula. For example, if you see velocity, what is the unit for velocity is meter per second. So meter means it represents the distance or a length. So the dimension is L. So for second represents a time. So the dimension is T. So like that, you can obtain the dimensional formula if you know the unit. So for velocity is L t power minus 1. For density is ml power minus 3, because density is what? It is mass by volume. Again, for mass, it is m, and for volume, it is L cube. So it is L power minus 3. And similarly, for viscosity is m L power minus 1 and T power minus 1. So these are the dimensional formulas. So once you obtain this equation 1, the next step what you have to do is you have to written all the dimensional formulas. So you have to write down all the dimensional formulas for the given variable. So these are the variables. Okay. So after knowing all the fundamental formulas, sorry, dimensional formulas, so you have to substitute all those dimensional formulas in this equation 1. So if you substitute, you will get ML, that is the equation number 1 is, so I'll rewrite here, F is equal to K into L, so that is D to the power A, okay, and V to the power B, and rho to the power C, and mu to the power D. So this was the equation number 1. So for F, the dimensional formula is mLT power minus 2. We have substituted here. And similarly is equal to K into D is L to the power A, and velocity is LT power minus 1. So LT power minus 1 into B, and rho is mL power minus 3. So that is mL power minus 3 to the power C. And mu is a mL power minus 1, D power minus 1. So whole to the power D. So we have substituted here. So now what you have to do, you have to multiply all m terms, so and all L terms and all T terms together. So you have to separate L terms together, m terms together, and T terms together. So if you see here, so m L T power minus 2 is equal to K into L power A is there, okay, and also if you see here, L to the power B is there, okay. So L power A into L power B, and also here also L power is there. So this is L power A, L power B is there, and L power minus 3 to the power C means it is minus 3C. So and here also L power is there. So L power minus 1 to the power D, it is minus D. So it is L power A. So I hope you know. So if you multiply L power A into L power B, so it will be power gets added up. So it is L power A plus B. So L power A plus B plus minus 3C, you can see minus 3C, and minus D. So minus 1 into D, it is minus D. So L power A plus B minus C minus D, you will get it. So similarly multiply all the m terms. So m is here, okay, so if you see m is here, so that is m to the power C, you will get it, and here also one m is there. So this m to the power D is there. Okay, so it will be m to the power C plus D. So m to the power C plus D, you will get it. And after this, if you multiply all the t powers, so if you see t power, so t power minus 1 to the power B is there. So t power minus B, you will get it. And similarly, t power minus D, you will get it. So you will get t power minus B minus D. Okay. So now if you see both the right hand side and the left hand side, so you can equate m powers, L powers, and T powers. That is nothing but the dimensional homogeneity, using the dimensional homogeneity principle. So we'll equate the powers of m, L, and T on both the sides of the equation. So let us equate the powers of m. So if you equate the powers of m on the left hand side, m power is 1. Okay. If you see the right hand side, the m power is C plus D. So it will be equal to 1 is equal to C plus D. Okay. So similarly, we'll equate L powers. So L power is what? On the left hand side, it is 1 again. So on the right hand side, you have, so L power A plus B minus 3C minus D. So it will be 1 equal to A plus B minus 3C minus D. So similarly, we'll equate the T powers, okay, on both the sides. On the left hand side, T power is minus 2. So minus 2 is equal to, so on the right hand side, T power is minus B minus D. So it will be minus B minus D. Okay. So now what we have to do, we have to calculate. So we got the equation. So we have taken this equation, that is the, by equating m powers, we have named it as equation number 2. And equating L powers, we have taken as equation number 3, and to the last equating T powers, we have taken it as equation number 4. So now what we'll do, we'll just simplify this. Okay. So from equation 2, so so if you see here equation number 2, so what is C plus D is equal to 1. Okay. And C plus D, we got it as 1, and C we can rearrange it as 1 minus D. So if we send this D to the left hand side, so we'll get C is equal to 1 minus D. And similarly, so the equation number 4, so if you see the equation number 4, it is minus 2 is equal to minus B minus D. Okay, so what we'll do is, so here you can take it anything. So either you can keep it in terms of D, so that you can substitute that again back to this equation number 3, and similarly, so if you substitute this B as in D, then you can substitute back here and you'll get the equation. So now what we have done, so equation number 4 is minus 2 is equal to minus B minus D. So from this B is equal to what? So 2 minus D. So what we have done, so from equation number 2 and equation number 4, so we have represented C and B in terms of D. You can see both are in terms of D, 1 minus D and 2 minus D. So now what we'll do, similarly we'll represent this equation number 3. So equation number 3 is what? It is 1 is equal to A plus B minus 3C minus D. Okay, so we'll now if you can see here, so what we have done here is, so we have substituted that so we have substituted this whatever C and B is there in terms of D. So we have substituted both the equation in equation number 3. Okay, so wherever C is there and wherever B is there, so we are represented in terms of B. So if you substitute here, so what we have done, so initially before substituting, we have sent all these terms to the left hand side. So you'll get A is equal to 1 minus B plus 3C plus D. Okay, so if you see here, so in place of C we have substituted as 1 minus D. So you'll get 1 minus 2. Okay, 1 minus 2 plus D, because B is what? It is 2 minus D. So here also minus is there, minus into plus will get minus. So 1 minus 2 plus D plus 3 minus 3D plus D, you'll get it. So simplify, D is there here, 1D is there. So D plus D, it will be 2D. So minus 3D plus 2D. So you'll get minus D. And 1 minus 2 is minus 1, minus 1 plus 3, it is 2 plus 2. So A, you will get it as 2 minus D. Okay. So now what we'll do, so we'll substitute all those A, B, C here. So whatever this A value, B value and C value, we got it here. So we'll just substitute that in the equation number 1. Okay. So we have to substitute in the equation number 1. So the equation number 1 is F is equal to K into D power A, V power B, rho power C, mu power D. So in place of here A, B, C will substitute. So A we got it as 2 minus D, and B we got it as 2 minus D, and rho we got it as 1 minus D, and mu, so it is D only. Okay. So now what we'll do is, here ultimately we have to obtain what is the equation. So what is the relationship, okay, for the drag force between the drag force and diameter, density, velocity and viscosity. So here what we have done, so we have we have splitted the terms, like how we have done it, like we have added all the powers, we have multiplied all the powers. So here we have simplified this. You can rewrite this d power 2 minus d as d square into d power minus d, and v power 2 minus d as v square into v power minus d, and similarly rho power 1 minus d into rho power minus d and mu power d. So now what we'll do, so we'll take all the d terms together. So d terms is, one is d power minus d, v power minus d and rho power minus d into mu power d. Okay, so here you can see there is a negative sign, so that will go to the new denominator. Okay, so positive will become in the will be in the numerator, and this whatever d power minus d and v power minus d and rho power minus d is there, so that will go to the denominator. Okay, so the remaining terms are k, and one is v square here. Okay, so d square and rho. So it will be k v square d square rho into mu d. As I told, mu is the power is positive, it will be in the numerator. So divided by B per D, V per D, rho per D. Okay, so now you can take it, all the powers are same, so you can rewrite this as mu divided by rho Vd whole per D. Okay, so F will be equal to, so K rho V square D square mu divided by rho Vd whole to the per D. See what we have done, so the equation was initially F is equal to F of the function of d, v, rho, mu. This was the equation, and after that we have removed that function and you got a constant and you got a power also, like d per a, v per b, rho per c and mu per d. Like this you got it. So here what we have done, so we have written this. Now this equation is of this form. So we have sent to the same form, that is f is equal to k rho v square d square. So phi of that function we have written a different term, that is phi of mu divided by rho vd, where you can, so where this eliminating the power, so you'll got the function. So we have written back to the same equation. So the relationship between drag force, diameter, velocity, density and viscosity is F is equal to K rho V square D square phi of mu divided by rho Vd. So this is a problem which is based on Rayleigh's method. Thank you. So in the next class, we'll see the next method of dimensional analysis, that is Buckingham pi theorem, and we'll solve a problem on a Buckingham pi theorem.